Welcome to the BAM Sports Show.
I carefully place all of it in various trash cans around.
Any other headlines you guys are interested in tomorrow?
I'll poop in a urinal.
It's going to be a wet one.
He shoots, he scores, you suck.
Rick's wife is going to make him sleep in the bathroom tub tonight.
A dark horse candidate of where I may eventually want to end up living for good. Welcome to a brand new sports show experience coming through your wavelengths. Let's get ready to have some fun. So sit back, crack open a drink, and let's talk some sports.
Good evening, everybody.
Whoa.
And let's talk some sports. What up, fellas?
Yo.
We got
Turns
a
out Keith
full
dances
crew
What
this
is
evening.
going on?
with me too.
Oh, I dance it every time.
Yeah,
I know. I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Good crew.
I bust
Well-
up laughing every time.
It's such a good video. It's hard not to.
Right.
So,
Thank you.
Oh, unfortunate
Thank you.
though. It's
Go ahead
it's
and pat
sad, though,
myself
'cause
on
we
the
got
back of that one.
Rob in the video, and Rob's not with us anymore, which is unfortunate.
I know. Well, he's,
Yeah.
again,
He's still okay. He's alive.
He's
He's
alive.
alive.
He's
no
not
one
with
knows.
us on that
Rest
show.
So, we
rest
miss
in
you,
peace,
Rob.
season.
He's taking an extended leave of absence.
Yeah. We miss him.
Hopefully
Hope
he'll
we
be
can
back,
get back
yeah.
soon. Go ahead and start twittering at his Twitter hashtag bring Rob back, and we'll see if that works. I think if we harass him enough, it might work. Rick can't do it because he's off Twitter.
Twitterless.
Yeah, well,
Twitter
I'm a little bit
Rick.
tech-tarded, so.
I
Except-
disagree.
He's
except for all
tech-tarded,
the
but he does
videos.
all of our videos, all of our creative design. Yeah, it's great. It's great. So we hired a tech-tard for that.
I'm just happy that I'm, for once, not a person that has to do all the video stuff as like an actual person that does that or used to do it as a career.
I am
Oh,
just
you got moved
frustrated.
around again.
Sorry, I'm moving people around. I am just frustrated that what would
Oh,
take me 4.5
Jeez.
hours literally takes Rick 30 seconds while he's taking a shit on his phone. So, and then his also always looks better. So it's fucking great. Let me tell you, it's fucking fantastic. So big show tonight,
Happy to
big
do it,
weekend
man.
coming up. We got a lot of stuff queued up for you guys.
Crazy show tonight.
Crazy show tonight. So I think without further ado, I think we bring on our friend tonight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
All right, so we're gonna do this. Welcome.
Rick's
I'm trying to
stuck.
find the video.
We were
Welcome.
experiencing technical
Maybe we're gonna
difficulties.
do this.
We were. We are no longer, I think. Okay,
And it's
here
not
we go.
me this time.
Steven, welcome to the show, my friend.
What's up,
That was-
guys?
that
That was
was
awesome.
sick.
I should have rose from my chair or something.
We need to
Not quite the
smoke
grand
effect.
entrance we had in mind for you. Had difficulties here, but
No, no worries. I liked it.
yeah, man. Welcome to the show. If you don't know Shotola, I had mentioned him on time. Steven is the former director of multimedia for the Jacksonville Sharks of the National Arena League. Works.
I think Rick, for once, has bad
think-
internet.
Okay.
Is it-
I was going with it, thinking it was mine. So
Still
No,
too much
Rick
of the
is-
thunder is far.
So I think it's
Oh.
like when you bring in a guest, then you're the one that you're in, and it's going to be shitty that week.
Oh, that's
Like a
true.
2 week.
that is
Wow.
true.
We've never had this many problems with it. This is crazy. We've had guests on before and never had this issue.
It's
Uh,
probably
It was me last time.
were you not here last week when it happened last week?
I wasn't.
Yeah, Ryan was not.
I took
Well,
a well-deserved
right, but without-
night off.
But anyways, this show is not about ours and our internet and our Wi-Fi issues. Steven,
I don't have issues.
welcome. We hope you have something to drink or sip on because this is a stupid sports show.
Ooh, what are you drinking?
Me?
4 roses.
Ooh.
oh,
Roses?
nice.
Ooh.
That's a good choice.
I need to get my 4
Respect.
roses now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
I also work in technology, so like your next show, if you guys have any issues or IT issues, I can help.
Excellent. Good to know.
We
Well,
found
we're
our
always
guy.
always looking for good help on the show.
It's usually Dan.
Lord knows we need it.
You know, my whole thing, like with all these videos and stuff that I created, it all started, and you can ask Danny about this. That all started as like quote unquote highlight videos for our fantasy football league, which eventually just turned into a hobby, you know, and now we have videos like we have here on the show. But no, I just thought it was super interesting. Wanted to bring you on, man, to kind of ask you about your experience and whatnot. You kind of were able to make your way up the ranks for the Jacksonville Sharks. right, eventually becoming the multimedia director, to now where you are in the NFL with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I was just kind of hoping you can kind of share where you started. That's right, Duval. But no, I was just kind of hoping you could share a little bit of your story with us, kind of how you got into the stuff that, eventually led to where you are now.
Sure. Well, I'm not originally from Jacksonville. I grew up in South Florida in Port St. Lucie, and grew up like playing like every sport, like a lot of kids in the 90s and early 2000s. And so between football, basketball, soccer, like you name it, me and my friends would just go in the backyard and play all day, and that was just what we did. And so I got really accustomed to sports. And so like my childhood bedroom, which still exists in Port St. Lucie, was like, I think my aunt from upstate New York got me a Sports Illustrated
Swimsuit edition.
That was like my Christmas present. It was easy. And I would fill my wall with just all the sports memorabilia. So if you guys ever go to my hometown house, like go to my bedroom, like you'll see pages from like everything from Super Bowls to NBA finals and just tons of stuff like sports history. But it's funny because it's like a time capsule because it stopped when I got to college and I left.
I'll be there next
nice.
week.
Yeah.
Who are your favorite sports teams?
Growing up, I was a total Florida kid, like South Florida kid. So Miami Dolphins, Miami Heat. I got to enjoy. To be honest, when I was a kid, the best sports team in Florida was the Miami Hurricanes. They were winning national championships. Crazy. And so that was like the number one team in South Florida for a long time. They were more popular than the Dolphins. And then, of course, when I got to high school, it was the Miami Heat with LeBron and everything like that. And D Wade, and so I got to enjoy a lot of great Heat games growing up as well. So I got spoiled. So I grew up a sports fan, but wanted to go to school for TV and film. And in 2009, whenever I was graduating, there wasn't a lot of film schools in Florida. It was like you either go to University of Miami, FSU, or you go to California or New York if you want to go to a good school.
Right.
And so it's really hard to get into. And like FSU at the time, which is where my sister ended up going to school, they only accepted like 4 kids per grade. So like freshmen, 4 kids get accepted.
Did you know, Steven, that Rick is a lifelong FSU fan starting this last season?
There you go.
Starting this last season.
And, I could always go back to FSU, grad schools, there's nothing wrong going to grad school. So, but anyway, so there really wasn't a lot of film schools. And so I really dug deep and like looked. And then it turned out that like there was a couple new film schools popping up in Florida, the University of Tampa, Jacksonville University, and then of course Full Sail, which was like not your traditional college, but it was pretty cool. So I applied to a lot of those, and like the number one school that got back to me first was Jacksonville University, and they not only got back to me, but they're like, we want to bring you on campus, and we want you here. And so I felt kind of like that recruitment thing that I always never got in sports, but it was cool. So they showed me the campus. I also got accepted to a couple schools locally, like Palm Beach Atlantic, Florida Atlantic University, FAU. But those are more like film was more like you're going to work for the news station.
Right.
You got to be ready. You're like don't kid yourself. Like Hollywood is not here, And so that's what they called film history or mass communications or whatever. And so JU was different, man. It was a completely different animal. They were brand new. They were looking for students. I think it was their second year as a program. And they were like, they literally walked me around campus. I showed them my portfolio. I showed them everything that I shot in like high school and some stuff that I did with my friends in high school. And they were like, before you leave today, we just want to let you know we're going to offer you a scholarship like right now. Like we're going to offer you a scholarship for our fine arts school to be a film major. And I was talking about, well, I'm also applying to UCF, and I'm applying to FSU
National
and all the
champions.
Here's what we're going to do. Like all these bigger schools, you're not going to touch a camera till you're a junior. And that's if you pass all your classes, if you do everything like that. Like we're going to get you into school. Like you're going to be touching cameras. You're going to be doing work from freshman to senior year. We're going to give you 4 years of real like film experience, and not to work for the news station, to like work in film and TV. Like we're going to teach you courses, and we're going to show you stuff that like actual real directors and real producers are doing now. And not like people that are winning like Emmys, like guys that are doing like, like crazy short films, and like the people that like make it later in life, like people that have like the financial, things of a guy that would be in their 20s and 30s. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to like show you Spielberg for hours and hours and hours. Like this is like the next 10 years of your life. Like this is the reality of a low budget short film kind of reality. But they also showed us real film history too. And so I was like, this is spot on. Like, this is like on track with what I want to do. I didn't know much about Jacksonville, like growing up in South Florida, like Miami was the big city, and Orlando. And so UCF, and then literally like almost like JU said, like UCF came back to me and they were like, we're going to defer you to do 2 years at a community college. And then if you pass, like, we'll get you into the film program, blah, blah, blah. We really like you. You're a considerable candidate, whatever, but we're going to defer you, whatever. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to JU. I did 4 years there, and it was outstanding. It was everything that I thought it was. Small class sizes, immediate, like, direct attention with the professors. I met a lot of great friends. I made a lot of great connections. I did a lot of stuff off campus. I got to work with a lot of, like, when I was a freshman and sophomore, I hung out with the juniors and seniors, the guys that were doing their senior theses, and they were looking for production assistants. So, like, I did a good job of, like, starting really, really young. I met guys that were seniors or grad students that were actors. And so, like, that paid off later on when I was a senior looking for actors and things like that. I'm like, hey, I was the guy helping you out with makeup, or I was the guy holding the boom mic for 1 hour. Like, you know, so I just said that.
The worst job.
I got lucky doing that. And so through JU, I ended up doing a couple short films that got me into film festivals. I did some on campus, and then I did some that were off campus. And some of the ones that I did on campus ended up getting me to big film festivals. And the first one I ever got to go to was the Arnold Sports Film Festival, which, of course, me loving
Arnold.
hit. Yeah, and so I think he still does the Arnold Festival in Columbus, Ohio.
It's Columbus, Ohio, isn't it?
Actual, you know, it's more bodybuilding, weightlifting, competitive sports, and things like that.
Yep.
It did make
That's my neck of the woods.
And so I got to meet Arnold Schwarzenegger. So I'm like, hey, first film festival, get to meet Arnold Schwarzenegger, not bad. Then I ended up, my next year, I got to go to LA. I went to my film, like, qualified for, like, the grand finale for colleges and stuff like that.
Nice.
And I really got to see, like, JU budget versus UCLA versus NYU versus Arizona State. And I was like,
a lot more rich dads in those schools.
Better cameras, better equipment, better access to things. And so, like, my junior year, like spring, I worked with a lot of great people, from professors to people that didn't even go to JU. And I was like, hey, I'm going to make a really good film for this film festival that got me to California last year. But I can't just rely on just JU talent. I can't just rely on the bare minimum. Like, I need real professionals, real, you know, actors, comedians, whatever. And so I made a really, really badass short film called Duality. And not only did it do well at the school level, like Campus Movie Fest, which was the film festival, they're like, we're sending you to France. You're going to the festival as a junior in college. And I was like, oh my God. So me and my friend David Howard, who I still work with today, you know, not often, but we still keep in touch. He actually lives in Los Angeles. We were film students together. He graduated. I was still in school. And I'm like, hey, we just got invited to the Cannes Film Festival Short Film Corner to compete. Like, their film to be shown. So
that's crazy.
While all these major films are going on, we have our own section where we're showing, like, the next generation of filmmakers.
Yeah.
And so we got to go to that in 2012, and it was life-changing. It, like, opened my eyes to not only, like, what the film industry is, like, from what you learn in school to, like, there's so much more that goes into it. Like, we met people that make the posters for movies, the business people that are like, we're the ones that put the logos where and, like, everything, the advertising too. People that turn books into movies and things like that. So it was just like, it opened my eyes to, like, it's more than just grabbing really great actors, putting them in front of a camera with great audio and having good editors. Like, no, there's a whole business behind this. And the more people you know, like, the faster you're going to rise in the industry.
Absolutely.
Kind of sports was interesting because my junior year in college, I was the, again, JU small film program. I think my senior year, there was only like 6 or 8 of us. Maybe a couple more, but none of them were like straight. There's probably 6 real film majors that, like, that was their main focus. And so my film professor, like, approached me, like, randomly after class and was like, hey, the Jacksonville Jaguars are looking for a part-time, like, freelance video editor. It's going to conflict with your school schedule because school's in fall, their season's in fall. But if you think you can balance it, like, you're the kid we're going to recommend, because not because I was the most talented, not because I was her favorite student. I was just the one that liked sports. That's like what I was known for.
Right.
Sports
Yeah.
film festival,
Sure,
whatever.
yeah.
And so she was like, I'm going to send them your contact information if you're interested, and only if you think you can balance it. And so sure enough, I got my first foot in the door in sports. And so I got to work my junior year and senior year with the Jaguars part-time, got in the building. This was back before Shad Khan. This was the old owner, the old Jaguar logo.
Oh wow.
It's
Okay.
like-
Oh yeah,
My job
like with
was
the full
to-
body and everything.
Exactly. And my job was to just
Right.
cut up the footage that the real producers and real editors didn't want to deal with. The Jaguars lost, 9-38. We need all three of those field goals, Steven. Like every angle of Josh Scobie you can get us,
Make it look good.
It was tough times, but like I did it. I learned the software that they taught me, and then kind of the NFL in general and football in general. Like the more you can prove yourself, from athlete to like front office to like water boy, the more you can prove yourself, the more stuff they're gonna throw at you and kind of poke you to see what you can do. And so I went from like a part-time editor to they made me the IP director, which is the guy that like sends footage from every camera to this mass media outlet so that anyone can see it. A fan, I'll give you an example. A fan jumps off the deck and runs onto the field like streaking. Whatever.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
production
yeah.
want it. You know who wants it?
The unsung hero.
Security.
We want it.
The president. I want to know who that was, and I want to know every security guard within that parameter and who was responsible for that area. And so stuff like that would happen where I get a hand on my shoulder, again, junior in college. It's like the president or vice president of the Jaguars, and he goes, I need every shot of how that guy got on the field. I need it in 10 minutes.
Jeez.
Wow.
Forget the game.
Thank
it's
God
like,
for time.
the game. And so that was where like they tested me, like they poked me, and they're like, "Can you pull that off?" And so I got, and I had to go back and through replay and through every camera angle. I was like, "That's what they want." And it's going straight to the NFL. It's going to legal, and it's going to the president of the Jaguars because they want to know how the heck did this happen.
We're looking for a guy with a Prince
And who to
Albert.
fire, like who to fire, you know what I mean? So it's crazy.
That's
And
nuts.
so I did that for like a whole season, not just the bad stuff, but also the good stuff. Helping them with highlights. But it was
Girls
just
flashing the camera.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
main thing really was still film and television. I was like, this is just a way to make a couple extra bucks on the side. So sports
Yeah.
was never really the main thing at first. And then my senior year, when I went to the film festival, my junior year, I got offers to work internships and stuff like that. And the Jaguars wanted me back for fall. Unfortunately, I accepted an internship in New York City with a production company called BC's Productions, which was like a short production company, meaning they don't do massive films. They do commercials, corporate videos, music videos was like a big thing for them. And so I was like, I'm interested. And I got to do so much stuff with them working for a small company in a big city.
Yeah,
I was
no
doing
kidding.
pilots for TV shows.
Some say
I was
the biggest
reviewing
city.
scripts. I got to work on the Zombies rock band, which is a British, an old British rock band. I got to do their first music video ever because when they were big, this was before MTV, before music videos were even a thing. So as they're kind of still staying along as a band, they're like, it's about time we do a music video. And so I got to be the assistant director of their first ever music video
No kidding.
on rollingstones.com and everything like that. So my actual name got out there pretty quick, which was pretty cool. And so the problem with the internship was it was paid per play. So our company would get booked to work events, but our company wasn't actually our company was pretty much like, if you get a gig, we're going to send you, but whatever they pay, they pay. It's we're not going to pay you week by week. So there was 1 week where I'd make $1,000 working a music video. And then there'd be 3 weeks where I'm doing the internship and I'm working for this company, helping them find gigs and helping them find crew and extras and things like that. And I was like, well, we're not going to get paid till the project's done, or we're not going to get paid because this just isn't a paid project. You know what I mean? Or, hey,
You're just
Steven,
grinding pretty much at that point.
Yeah, I'd be a videographer for them, and I would shoot events just because they tell me to. And it's here's $5 for gas in New York City,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So
Can you even get on
Wow.
the subway
it
for
wasn't about money,
$5?
It's about experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it was tough. New York City is an expensive city to live in. And I applied for every production company full time. I was doing great in my internship, but they were like, we can't afford to keep you on full time. If you want to intern for experience, great, but that's all we can do. And if we get a chance, like, we're going to throw you a bone. Like, we'll make you an assistant director of our project. Or if we hear a commercial is in our area, like, we're going to recommend you. So they weren't like, they were helping me out. But I needed a full-time job. I had a kid on the way, my first kid. And so, like, my kid was going to be born in June. This is like, I'm in the middle of summer in New York City, which, believe it or not, gets really hot out there.
Yeah.
I was living in Queens, but I was going back and forth from Long Island. So some days I'd be shooting in Manhattan. I was all over the place. And so out of every industry that I was applying for, between film, TV, music, sports, the one thing that would always get back to me quickly was sports, or like that showed interest in me. Like the minor league team for the New York Yankees, the AAA team, the Trenton Thunder, which is a AAA Yankees affiliate, like they brought me in for an interview or online interview or whatever. And then the New York Jets called me and was like, hey, we're about to do spring training. This was in July, like right after like my daughter was born, 1 month old, and it's about to be July 4th weekend. I'm ready to go to the Poconos where my wife was living at the time with her family. And I get a call as I'm driving to Pennsylvania, a call from New Jersey, and I almost didn't answer it because I'm like, I don't know what this is. I answer it, and it's like, hey, this is Rich Gentile, Multimedia and Broadcast Department, New York Jets. We found your resume. Would you be interested? We have training camp coming up, mid-late July in upstate New York, but our practice facilities in New Jersey. Call me back. Got your resume. I want to see if you're interested. And like by far the best interview process I've ever dealt with. And all of it was because of what I was doing. Like all I had to prove was I was real. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's really cool.
My name
that's really, really cool.
They looked me up and they're like, they pretty much hired me. I did one interview and like at the end he just shook my hand. He's like, when can you start? And so it was a dream come true. So I had to leave the internship, but I mean, the internship did its job. It's like, we're going to prepare you for the real world and get you a job. And so it's sports. It was. And so I've been working in sports ever since. I was a multimedia editor and videographer for the Jets for that season in 2013, but it was a seasonal position. And so basically what I would have to do is I'd work for them all the way to about the Super Bowl or like around January, and then the season would end, and then I would go back for the draft. And I was like, well, wait a minute. That's like 3 or 4 months with no work. And so during that time, I was applying for jobs like crazy, and I ended up finding my way back to the Jaguars, but not directly to the Jaguars. I reached out to the Jaguars a lot because remember, like I kind of turned them away. Like they're like, hey, you're back this season. I'm like, no, I'm going to go do film and television in New York City. And they're like, oh, yeah, let's go. And so when I kind of called back, so I'm like, oh, please, like, give me a job, whatever. I'm looking for something full-time. I don't want to work seasonal. And they're like, well, we don't really have any full-time options available. Remember, this is the old ownership. And so a really good friend of mine, Clay, who's now working, he works a lot of different jobs, but he actually works for the Jaguars on game days and the New England Patriots. But back then, he was full-time Jags, and he was like, hey,
I recognize that. You said Mike Clay?
Oh, no, it's Clay Greenhall.
Got you. Sorry.
So he was a producer way back in the day with the Jags, worked there for a long time. So anyways, Clay, I reached out to him, Clay and Carlos and a lot of the guys that I worked with back in college. They're like, we don't have anything for you, but have you reached out to PRI? And I'm like, what's PRI? And they go, they hire full-time all the time. They're an event production company. They do a bunch of stuff with the Jaguars draft party. They produce game days. Like you worked with the PRI staff not knowing. A lot of the camera guys are staffed by PRI and stuff like that. So it sounded a lot like my internship, which was like, it's a smaller company, but they resource a lot and they hire all these people and get all these people together to produce stuff. And so I'm like, all right, I'll reach out. And they gave me the CEO's like number, and I reached out. I applied for the job, and they hired me as an AV guy. So I was doing events all over North Florida, Jaguar game days, bowl games, Monster Jam, but I was also working events at the Marriott. TPC Sawgrass. And so they got me, I did that for 2 years and it was awesome. And it kind of got me equated to Jacksonville as a city, where in college I was kind of focused like JU, Jaguar Stadium, JU, Jaguar Stadium. And so after PRI, I ended up applying for trying to get more back into sports because PRI, we were involved with the Jaguars, but that was like one of many clients.
Hold on real quick before you move on to your next. I'm on your LinkedIn page.
Yeah.
What was your favorite event and why was it the Monster Jam?
Monster Jam.
It's the easiest sport to like explain.
Well, yeah, true.
Anybody can enjoy it, and my kids love it. Like, it takes very little time to explain it to people, and everyone just has fun. It's one of the events that no matter a good Jaguar season or not, like Monster Jam and Florida Georgia are the two things. It's because we're in I don't know if it's a Jacksonville thing or not. Those are the two events we know are going to be sold out.
I shot in St. Louis a long time ago. I shot a motocross event, and it was like my favorite thing that I've ever gone out and worked on.
Oh yeah, those are great.
Yep,
and that's really like a lot of the guys that I work with the Jags. You'd be surprised how many of them are not involved. We're not in football before this.
Yeah,
you know, like we have.
That's what I wanted to. That's what I wanted to ask. Like, how many like people do you know who are in the industry with you are actually sports fans? Because it seems like it's such a, you know, they're pretty separate in terms. Because like I went to film school too, didn't graduate, but that's kind of where I went out. But it seems like they're very different types of people. So
got a body for porn, but just the face wasn't there. Is what
right.
No, like you'd be surprised. Like we have one guy, like one of our best, like one of my favorite coworkers. I got to work side by side with him for the Jaguar watch party of the Chiefs playoff game. And we've known each other for a long time. Like I was a robotic camera operator for the Jags for years.
How do you like that? That seems like a fun job.
The robotic camera operator?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I did that with the Jags, that was like a new position that they just made up. Like,
wow.
So when I left the Jags, they didn't have a new owner. It was the old ownership or whatever.
Yeah.
New York City. And then like I come back to Jackson working for PRI, and then I noticed like we have pools now, and we have like all new ownership, and they have a lot of new toys, but they still have a lot of the same staff. And so
Mr. Khan, by the way, University of Illinois graduate. Thank you very much.
There you go.
Central Illinois stand up.
That hired me back when I was a college student as a Illini.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So Steven,
cool.
if Khan would have moved the Jags to Chicago, like a lot of people thought they would you have followed them?
Well, my dad's a Bears fan, and the history of the Bears, like I could never imagine that happen.
What about London?
Rumor, though, that the first team that Shad Khan was interested in before the Jaguars was the St. Louis Rams pre-LA.
Yep.
And the expansion team, but they were going to be the Stallions.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm a St. Louis guy, so I know, about that stuff.
Why don't we just go straight to the horse? Steven, go ahead, just call him up. We'll get him on the show right now. I'm sure he's not.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, he's on London time. So,
what time is it over there?
I was like, wow. I was just joking.
Yeah. But
are you guys?
Funny.
Actually, this is kind of a question for Rick and Steven. Just with the success of this year, do you feel like there's a better chance of Jacksonville staying where they are, like, and then the years to come?
Yeah. There's Jacksonville's the Jaguars are here for the long haul. And
I hope so. That's
reflected throughout the organization. I mean, if you look and Rick knows. Just drive by our stadium and look at all the stuff that we're building around the stadium. We wouldn't be doing that if we were leaving.
Yeah, that is true.
I've mentioned it to these guys. I've lived here for a little over a year now. But yeah, no, absolutely. To Steven's credit, they've built, and I'm not sure what each one of those facilities are, but they keep building on that site. They're not just sitting stagnant or anything like that. And I keep.
Will maybe
like the
Tony
Chargers.
Khan, like his son, like. Will he maybe get an NFL team or something? I don't know. But like as far as Shad's concerned, like the Jet and Mark Lampion, like the team, like they're committed to Jacksonville. Like they're putting so much time, energy, and money into the city. I think that the thought of us leaving is like a 10-year-old or 5-year-old stigma that just kind of goes
right.
But now, like if you look at the Jaguars, now that these things are finally coming into fruition. And we got this new practice facility that we just built. I mean, obviously, Daly's Place has been a huge success too.
Yeah, huge concert hall.
Yeah,
I really want to just kind of throw this out there for Keith.
We have new front offices that we're building and things like that. There's just so much in the works.
So the next time that you're just kind of hanging out and talking to Tony or Shad, just let them know we really prefer them to buy the WWE as opposed to the Saudis.
Yeah, that's Tony's thing, man. The cool thing about Tony Khan, I'll tell you, I wish I was him because, like, think about the power and the money that he has and the control. Like, he's kind of like, he's already made it. Like, he can run a football team run a soccer team, and then if he gets bored of that, he can start a wrestling league. I think that's really like not a lot of people can say that they can just do that.
Is
like
he the AEW guy?
Games,
Yes, sir.
You know, he can do that with franchises. It's pretty cool.
So
Well, I
last
have to tell you,
question.
Steven.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Blake.
I was just say last question before we let you here. We got to know before we go into the Super Bowl talk. Who wins, Steven? This is important. Who wins?
Oh yeah, we're giving our
Chiefs
picks today.
or Eagles?
No, I hate the Chiefs because that's our biggest obstacle, and Rick knows. Like that's the Jaguars' biggest obstacle. Is we gotta beat the Chiefs if we want to go to the Super Bowl, or someone's got to beat them for us. But like at the end of the day, if we can't beat the Chiefs, we're just gonna repeat what we did this year. The pro of the Chiefs winning is maybe Travis Kelce gets closer to retirement because he murdered us, man. That guy's that's total respect to him.
Everybody.
Yeah, but
he does.
Yeah, don't take it personal.
Like I would love to see the Chiefs without Travis Kelce and see how much that improves our chances and odds. But no, the Chiefs are a great team. Like it's going to be a great Super Bowl. I'm rooting for the Eagles just because I'm pissed that the Chiefs beat us.
Hey,
I respect.
Bengals are like my number 2 team, so I'm kind of there with you.
Yeah. Back on Snubbed, though, you guys wouldn't believe me, but where I'm located in technology, I don't know if it's just because our department is that important in hand. Like Shad Khan's office is right next door to mine. Like where his
wow.
I'm telling you.
Very
around
cool.
the corner, it's literally Shad's office. It's pretty cool. Like that's one of the cool things of working for a small market NFL team is like I'll see Shad Khan walk in the hallway. We're walking the same direction,
So hear me out.
That's really cool.
Hear me out. You get some sort of a small speaker and you slowly implant it in the wall in between your two. And you just play a very low subliminal by the WWE.
Yeah.
By the WWE. It's
That'd be
just
more
over.
Tony's office, which is a little further away. Yeah, Tony, I think has
Just
the
use
most
a larger speaker.
Just turn it all the way up, actually.
Yeah.
That's too funny.
It's last shot, and I don't know for a fact. I mean, it's father-son stuff, but I want to say that that's a venture. Like AEW is a venture of Tony Khan. That's his baby, and he's really taken it on himself and made it his own, which is awesome for his age. Like think about it, like his age and having that much power, influence, and things like that. Like I honestly admire him. I'm like I wish I could be in those shoes. To have that much power and control, and it's pretty fascinating what he's been able to do throughout his career. Because he's a Jaguar employee.
Yeah.
So yeah,
he's been
with the organization for a long time, and he's just been starting these new ventures and businesses. And he's gotten a lot of criticism and things like that, which it's well deserved. Like he's not doing the traditional, American businessman stuff. Like he's like there's already a big wrestling league like WWE. She's like, no, I'm just gonna start my own.
Yeah.
Well,
for sure.
Most definitely,
And
Steven, we appreciate you hopping on tonight.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah, for sure, man. Hey,
I have a real quick aside because Steven brought this up about Travis Kelce, and you know me, I always like to look up numbers and stats. Who do you guys think that Travis Kelce has, we'll just say, the best yards per reception against?
Jacksonville Jaguars, just because you brought it up.
Oakland Raiders.
Probably. I mean, he had like 9 receptions in the first quarter with us. It was pretty. That's why
it's actually the New York Jets.
Oh.
You know how many? You know who he has scored the most touchdowns against?
I'm gonna say the Raiders.
You got it.
Oh,
Yep.
11.
It's got to be divisional.
touchdowns.
Yep.
I was actually, you were talking about like how he, shits on you. Well, actually, you know what? I read that wrong. It actually is the Jaguars.
Oh, fuck. Oh, wow. Just kidding.
17.2 yards per catch.
I'll say.
Yeah.
Not against the Jets either,
There
though.
no more, baby. The other Cincinnati grad shut them down.
For sure.
Well, Steven, like I said, we really appreciate you jumping on tonight, my friend. We'll have to have you back on at some point so we can continue the conversation.
Absolutely.
A great time.
Yeah, hey, listen, man.
Jaguars in the
Really,
Super Bowl next year.
Arena
really
football,
seriously,
and
we appreciate you
Jags
kind of
versus
giving us a peek behind the curtain. That was super cool, especially for me. I talked to these guys about bringing you on for a while now. Just kind of be able to see that little peek behind the curtain is really cool, and hoping to be able to kind of follow in those footsteps. Maybe not through the exact same path, but I appreciated getting to meet you. Appreciated getting to shadow the broadcast team there with the Sharks. I've been kind of putting a bug in our ear through email a few times to be able to kind of get back. Yeah, man.
Now Rick is
Touch
going
back to
in
being
and
a
out
robot.
at the end.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Most
Yeah, no, we
definitely,
really
Steven.
appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for
and,
popping in, my friend. We will see you next time,
Thank you,
and
sir.
go Eagles this weekend, yeah?
Go Birds.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, that was really weird. We started nose at the same time.
I think Rick is just frozen.
Can't tell if he's EF right now or if he's frozen. He's literally the AJ Hawk of our
I'm
show
here.
right now.
There he is. God
we
damn it!
go.
Of all nights.
So that was a
dude-
lot of information. That was awesome, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
I
thought that
didn't
was
realize
cool.
that
It
there's
was
that much, like, I mean, I knew there'd be free work in that industry, right? Right, Rick? But
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
realize there'd be that much
that's
free work.
no, for sure. I wouldn't have thought about it. I mean, but I guess it makes sense, like having the background of kind of going to film school and having that skill set. I could definitely see how that would translate, into kind of some of the stuff that he does now with the, with the, obviously the Jaguars and the Jets. It sounds like so. Not his first rodeo with the Jaguars or with the NFL, which I didn't know. I thought that this was
Yeah, it was
something new that he
surprised to
picked
see
up.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
something
super
else
cool.
too is that there's really not, like I was just saying, there wasn't too much of an overlap between people who are in film, television, who are also
Right.
into sports.
Mhm.
So that's pretty cool that he was actually one of the few guys that's like, hey, I like both these things. So sounds like you got the perfect job for him.
Yeah, most people that are in like television and film are sports ball,
Yeah.
like I don't know. I have a good buddy up in Chicago that's a huge Cubs fan, but he does video professionally, and he's like the only one that I've met that's been a huge
Mhm.
actual sports guy
Yeah.
of many.
Yeah, that's funny. I didn't realize you were kind of in the media background also.
Oh yeah, yeah. I did that for a very long time.
I think we all have some sort of, like, background / desire to be in it, except for Keith, who just got dragged out on the show one night. It hasn't been we sunk our fucking teeth into it and we haven't let him escape.
Yeah.
Like I'm actually currently on Indeed looking for jobs in sports media.
It's like,
Sweet. So
yeah,
we've got
just
two
taking
more
notes
things
from
to get to
Steven.
tonight before we get out of here, fellas.
We got a ton of stuff to talk about still. We
In
got
like 20 minutes.
man, it's Friday.
It's Friday.
it's always Friday with us.
Okay, well, we can talk
well,
about
we got
some stuff, but we're gonna what?
I was gonna say we got awards to talk about. We got snubs to talk about.
You can leave. We'll just do without you.
I
Do what?
Whoa! Why are you rushing me, bro?
Because you're
All
the one with the
right, you know what?
shits.
Fuck you. I
God damn
don't
it.
got the shits. I wish I had the shits. It'd feel better if I had the shits.
I wish you had the shits too. Right now.
Speaking of the shits,
It's time for the BAM Sports Show Super Bowl preview.
fuck, it sure isn't because I hit the wrong goddamn one. So now,
Oh, we're not doing-
The BAM Sports Show NFL Honors Review.
They wrote me off. I ain't right back, though. That's the problem. I ain't right back. Let's go.
I knew
They
the
wrote
Gino,
me
I
off.
knew the Gino quote would be in that video. When Rick said he was making a video, I knew the Gino quote would be in that video.
Hey,
They wrote me
you
off,
put me
but I
in charge
ain't
of
right
it.
back.
Hey, I ain't mad at you. It looks great, dude.
What a baller ass thing to say.
After like week 3 or it was early in the season.
Yeah.
And then he said that and I was like, well, here we go. We're going to get butt fumble Gino. And he just never wrote back. He just
Fuck
never
you,
picked up that pen.
Fuck you, Austin.
Fuck you, Austin.
Transitions
No, he's
be
saying
on
they look
point.
No, yeah.
He's saying they look good.
Yeah, he's giving me props. Let him give me props, Blake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
High,
yeah.
high
Okay, you
quality
get break
stuff.
props.
Thank you, Austin.
Blake just
Rick
doesn't
is-
like comments on here. He's like, who the f- talking to us?
Son of a
Get
bitch.
off!
It's
How
not
We'll
a
let you
bot.
on this.
It's not a bot tonight.
This is a
asking us
private
for our
comment
credit card
area.
information.
Not yet.
Not yet, anyways. The night is young. Night is young. So let's go through some of these NFL awards. We can talk about snubs as we kind of hit the award. Let's start with the big kahuna. Huh?
I don't think there was any snubs.
You don't think there's any snubs at all? Ryan
I will
disagrees.
say-
I can see it by his face. Let's get to
There
the
is
awards. You
one.
can tell us. Okay. All right.
Austin, we love you.
But sure, go ahead.
Don't leave,
Austin,
Austin.
don't go.
Don't leave, Austin. Please stay.
Austin.
Hey, real quick, we won't talk about who won the MVP, but I will like to point out that Justin Fields had an MVP vote.
Did he really?
Oh,
Yeah, Justin
it-
Fields had a fifth place MVP vote. The
So
same
did the
amount
trainer from the
as-
Buffalo Bills.
the same amount as Tua Tagliova. I can't talk tonight.
just two. It's like Ichiro.
And
No one says his last
whoever
name.
Denny Kellington is.
Isn't that the
Is that
trainer
the-
that gave
that the
CPR
trainer?
to? Yeah, that's the dude that gave CPR to
Oh
Hamlin.
shit!
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
That's good. I like.
Yeah, you can't really.
Did you imagine
Don't
the
be that guy.
troll if he'd have won that though?
That. Oh god.
So NFL MVP is Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. Any shockers there?
You don't think it'll be Hurts?
It was.
Yeah,
Patrick
like-
Mahomes.
It was Mahomes. There it is. That was.
It is
last night.
Mahomes, yes. It was Mahomes. I will say, I get it. Like, he once again had an amazing season. Patrick Mahomes did Patrick Mahomes things. And without Tyreek Hill to boot, right?
Mhm.
That being said, we expected that out of him 100%. You know, of course, him playing on a bum ankle was awesome, but I go
was
back
also in
and
the
forth.
playoffs,
Part of
though.
me really feels like it should have been either Jalen Hurts or Christian McCaffrey, which I know it's always going to be a quarterback.
Yeah.
But I feel like what really killed it for Jalen Hurts was him missing time because of injury. But if anything, I think that a solid argument could be made that would only lend credence, like, because look how terrible the team did without him. I mean, Gardner did his thing. He played admirably against the Cowboys, right? But obviously didn't win any games with him behind center. I think he was gone for like 2 games or something like that. Jalen Hurts came back and still played excellent. Christian McCaffrey, you can obviously make a case for, because look at how much, I mean, an already really good team just exploded as soon as they made that trade for him.
Yeah, that's who I thought should have been the couple of weeks ago when we were talking about this. Do you guys think there should be a separate award for the quarterback,
At
just
this
like kind of
point, yeah.
like the Cy Young? Because I mean, it's so freaking. Well, who's the last non-offensive or the last offensive MVP that wasn't a quarterback? Like, I'm going all the way back to like Megan. It's
Adrian Peterson, I think.
Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Should have been
Yeah,
Cooper
in
Cup
that
last
sense.
year.
What's that?
Said it should have been Cooper Cup last year.
Yeah, no, that's
Hey, how
I
many-
I
agree.
don't think he
how
got
many-
any
how many-
first place votes.
How many MVP votes did Rodgers get this year?
There's none.
Oh, just
Oh, yeah, I'll
He-
look.
I
that
bet
up.
he got
Give me a second.
You think one, Keith?
No, I'm saying you're number one.
Oh, thanks. buddy.
Zero. Zero.
I don't feel like
He
number
got-
one right now.
He was giving
He
me the
got
old
Austin
Texas
said-
one finger howdy.
We have
Austin
a new
says-
fact checker and verification in the group chat in the
Yeah.
comments right now. Austin hitting us with the AP 2012.
yeah. So it's been 11
Hmm.
years.
I said Adrian Peterson. What the fuck are you talking about?
He did.
He did.
Yeah, and
he did.
right,
Sorry,
so
Austin.
just
So
confirming it
anyways,
for you.
So, anyways, yes, it was Adrian Peterson in 2012. No wide receiver has ever won MVP.
See, that's
It's pretty much
I even
always
like
the
Jerry
quarterback,
Rice
except
or-
for that one time Lawrence Taylor won
yeah.
MVP.
I don't think it's fair to have the whole MVP the way it's situated right now, because I understand a quarterback is as valuable as it is just because of the position, but you make it impossible for any player to, someone like Cooper Kupp who, what do you?
I mean, at
What
this
was
point,
the
though,
Triple
just
Crown or-
just keep it a quarterback award, right? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Do
you
a
make
We don't
quarterback
have to
award
change the
and then
name of
do
it.
a.
Just
Call
leave
it the
be
Brady
quarterback.
Award.
Yeah, I mean,
Call it
Yeah,
the
there you go.
Tom Brady Award.
and then
I've
leave
won
offensive
best
player of the year
quarterback.
alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So offensive player of the year was Vikings wide receiver
Jay
Justin
Jettas.
Jefferson.
Yeah.
What?
I said Jay Jettas.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson.
That dude had a
he's-
phenomenal season.
He's so fucking
Yeah.
good.
He's had a phenomenal career, man.
I'm so
no,
mad
absolutely.
that he's a Viking.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is
Not
a
for long.
baller.
Jefferson
I'll
was
tell
a
you what.
non-quarterback. He was the only non-quarterback finalist for MVP. That's not right.
Wow.
Agreed.
According news.
Yeah.
No,
I'd say
because
him or
Tyreek Hill
McCaffrey.
got a vote as well.
Also,
Justin Jefferson
wow.
got 34 points in the MVP thing.
speaking of the Vikings, Brian Flores is going there to be a defensive coordinator.
That's scary.
That is scary, I think.
Don't like it. I don't
Yeah.
like it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they
That's,
definitely need a boost in defense.
yeah, for sure. Because I
They
mean,
still need
they have a
players.
respectable offense.
Oh, absolutely.
Their defense has not been anything really to write home about over the past few years.
No.
Which is
Any
crazy because you think back in the day, like they were more well known. I mean, you had Adrian Peterson, but it seems like I remember them being more known for Adrian Peterson and a really strong defense.
Yeah.
Right.
They definitely had peaks with their defense. I remember there's like 1 or 2 years where they're crazy, and then I mean it's almost the same way as Chicago, where you kind of think of,
But the opposite.
even when they're not a crazy defense a year, you still just it's almost the I'm not good with words tonight. It's
because you
just-
chugged that whiskey.
Yeah.
It's the image you have that it's like the brand that Chicago's built
Yeah.
up, just being the crazy defense from the 80s.
Bend but don't break.
Yep.
And I think there's a little bit about the Vikings with the purple people eaters. you know, from the day.
Any
So,
non-quarterback offensive player of the year candidates that you think could have won it over Justin Jefferson?
Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
But even then, like, I don't know. He'd probably be the only one I would consider.
He was like hands down just the best wide
Yeah.
receiver, and
I
one
think
of the best.
far.
CMC's got a higher argument for MVP than he does offensive player of the year, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, I agree. I agree.
Like if we're talking like how important is a player to a team, CMC is the definition of that this season.
Yeah.
He went to San
Correct.
Francisco and really solidified that offense. Like we saw it from day one that he got there.
I will say,
Correct.
hey, maybe I'm looking right now. Maybe Kelsey.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, I think he's probably
110 receptions, almost 1,400 yards, and 12 touchdowns, which is a solid year.
right. But compare that to Jefferson, though, and that's a little more apples to apples in terms of.
It's not. It's
not
really
apples
not
to
though,
oranges,
because
yeah.
it's so he had 110 receptions to Jefferson's 128.
Mhm.
So that's what, one more catch a game for
Yep.
Jefferson.
Mhm.
1,800 yards to 1,300. So there's only about 500 yards difference, which
Mhm.
Did
but-
Kelsey have the 1,800 or Jefferson?
Jefferson did.
Yeah. See, that's what I mean. I mean,
and then Jefferson had 8 touchdowns to Kelsey's 12. So I think
One
there,
is a wide receiver, one's a tight end.
yeah. So the touchdowns definitely are big. It's like, my batting average is a lot lower than a lot of guys, but slugging.
well, I'm just saying,
45
like,
home runs.
I think that like Travis Kelsey for me would be the next closest to Jefferson that could have won Offensive Player of the Year.
I see what you're
You know
saying.
what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's actually when you put it that way, I actually think it's a much better argument because I actually thought Jefferson had, just off the top of my head, I thought Jefferson had better stats all across the board. I didn't realize that Kelsey had that many more touchdowns. So I think,
Mhm.
I mean, I'd still, but I think there's absolutely an argument that Kelsey could have been a higher MVP vote than Jefferson.
Definitely.
Kelsey did have a
Defensive-
game where he had 4 touchdowns with like
True.
4 catches. and
True.
4 yards or something.
Yeah, I mean, he's a tight end.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
you have those games like that.
Yeah.
But that's why I was comparing it to where it's like, you might have a batter who's, hitting like 270, where I have some other guys who are hitting like 320, but the guy who's hitting 270 might be hitting like 45 home runs. That's like, oh, okay, well, that's huge. That's
Yeah.
a big category.
Well, and I think another argument to be made for Kelsey is that, not only is he a great pass catching weapon, but he also really helps out as a blocker. And a lot of times, like he'll shift away from his block, and nobody will be paying attention to the guy, and all of a sudden, boom, he's wide open, and catching a pass from Patrick Mahomes.
He came into college as a fucking quarterback, guys.
Played one game at Cincinnati as a quarterback.
He was a quarterback, and now he's the best tight end I think we've seen in this generation, at least. Hey,
I don't
want to. Well, yeah,
Go Kelsey over Gronk. Gronk missed so many.
You can't forget about Ertz either, because Zach Ertz had a pretty good few years there.
He did. I think Kelsey was better though.
But I don't want to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I didn't have much more to say, but I think Kelsey the last 3 years has been hands down better than Ertz was been in his like prime 3 years.
Somebody have
Who
a
the hell's riding a
motorcycle
dirt
go by
bike?
them?
I live in the ghetto. Just ignore it.
Like
if you hear gunshot, I'm
Uzi.
actually one of these days. There's gonna be gunshots you're gonna hear, and just be like, guys, that's where I live. Don't worry about it.
Speaking of,
I think that would be.
good.
I do actually have something I want to say though. Is I don't want to shit on your McCaffrey parade, guys. But did you know McCaffrey was the 8th best? He had the 8th most yards as a running back. Okay, he had.
You all right, Keith?
Do you know who was actually 7th place?
David Montgomery.
No.
Quarterback Justin Fields had more yards and the same amount of touchdowns as Christian McCaffrey.
That's fine.
How many receptions does Field have?
Yeah.
One.
But no, here's the real telling
Pretty sure he had no
stat
catches here.
is Christian McCaffrey has had 1 fumble and Justin Fields had 9.
Yeah.
But also Justin Fields is a quarterback. That's not his job.
Kind of circling back to the Travis Kelce conversation, I think that would be maybe another interesting topic for another time. Is and to your credit, Danny, yes, like Gronk did miss a lot of time, but I think healthy prime Gronk versus healthy prime Kelce makes for a very, very interesting debate.
I agree. That would be a
season to cover too.
That would be a whole
I
off-season
love these
conversation.
questions.
Right.
Because if you
I
think
love
about
it.
it, now you can literally argue Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey, Brady and Gronk.
Brady and Gronk.
You can now argue the individual. That's a full fucking episode.
And dude, I'm excited for us to get
That'll be
into
a
shit
fun
like
one.
that over the summer. Like,
All right, so defensive side of the ball, player of the year, 49ers, defensive end Nick Bosa. No really surprise there, right?
Yep.
No.
I don't think anyone got snubbed on that one. I think he was pretty crazy.
Nah.
Coach of the
18 and a
year.
half sacks.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Coach of the year, New York Giants head coach Brian Dable. I think a lot. You can make arguments. We've already argued this on the show multiple times, right? Like every coach, you could have a strong argument for Doug Peterson.
I think Doug Peterson.
Huh?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I like it. I like that Brian Dable won it. I don't have an issue with it too much. I don't know that it would have been my top pick. I think that for me, Doug Peterson would have been probably my number 1 pick. And then number 2, Brian Dable. Number 3, Pete Carroll, I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's exactly the top 3 I have.
My number 1 was Nick Sirianni. I mean, he's taking his team to the Super Bowl. That team has all year looked like the best team in football.
Team of the year. I agree too.
What about Shanahan? I think there's actually to be had.
Yeah, I think that
seems like no matter how he has at quarterback, he seems to be. You could see the McCaffrey factors in there, absolutely. But
so I always feel like the Coach of the Year award
Mm-hmm.
is like given to a coach who took a team from shit to good that wasn't expected to do that. I don't feel like, the true like Coach of the Year, like the best coach ever wins it. It's always somebody like Matt Nagy won it one year.
Like
when he took the
whoever
Bears.
does the best with the pieces they have.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
a
and that's-
shit
Did
roster.
you see that report that came out this week that he may stay in KC until Reed retires so he can take over the KC job? Did you see that?
When would Reed want to retire? I mean, he seems to be.
Yeah.
I mean, Andy Reid is up there.
Yeah, most improved, like Shannon said.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, good for him. I guess we're getting a little long, so I'll help you out, Blake, and we'll talk Defensive Rookie of the Year. It's your boy Sauce.
I called that beginning of the season,
It's
didn't
your boy Sauce.
Yeah, I like that one.
Aiden Hutchinson had more first place votes by like one.
I mean,
but
those people are.
Sauce won on the second place, so
Aiden Hutchinson
ranked-
doesn't even have a fucking Buffalo Wild Wings sauce. Get out of here.
ranked choice voting.
Not good.
Offensive
Very
Rookie
mean.
of the Year, same thing. Garrett Wilson. Jets drafted well. Got to give him that.
Yep.
You got both sides of the ball. That's a good draft.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson won. I do think that Kenneth Walker should have won, but Offensive Rookie of the Year, Garrett Wilson did it all season.
Kenneth Walker
Right.
would have won if he'd have started the season as
Probably.
RB1. I
Oh,
think.
yeah.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree.
Comeback
And that's-
Player of the Year, Gino.
Gino.
Yeah.
We all called that.
Well,
Yep.
I could see McCaffrey.
there was a discussion. Well, I was gonna say
Saquon.
Barkley. I think would have been
Yeah, Barkley as well.
Yeah, I think actually, I mean, as much as I was, because we had a whole conversation about
Mhm.
with Gino not ever being good, and all this is like his breakout year 10 years after he was drafted, where
Yeah.
someone like Barkley started out really hot, and I thought was done. Like
Yeah.
I wanted nothing to do with him in fantasy football this year. I was like, you guys, you mess
should've.
with that, you guys have fun with it, and yeah, Barkley.
Bitch
I
in the
feel like
ass.
that was a much bigger comeback to me. But
Yeah.
I'm happy for Gino though. I'm like, yeah, let's
Oh, hell
let's
yeah.
get it.
That price
Yeah,
tag.
and
I
is
think that
nuts.
he is.
Pete Carroll was another solid Coach of the Year, and I agree. I just
And he's
think
never
that-
won it either.
Oh, he hasn't.
Right.
Really?
Oh, okay.
No. Yeah, yeah. As far as like the defensive rookie of the year, 100% Sauce Gardner, 1000%. The only other kid that I think I would have made a case for, but still like I would have picked Sauce Gardner, would have been Tariq Woolen
Yeah,
from the Seattle Seahawks. He played phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think he
but
got
I just
some
think that
first place votes as well,
right.
like from how it shakes out.
And then offensive rookie of the year, Garrett Wilson. I like it. I feel a little bit more strongly in this case about Kenneth Walker than I do Tariq Woolen over Sauce Gardner.
Mhm.
But like you said, he did it all year, so of course, body of work is bigger in that regard. So
I think
I
that's
know
what
I
kinda
like it.
pulls Brock out of that conversation, right?
Yeah,
Like he started so late.
hmm
I think that both he and Geno Smith have like the two coolest stories of the entire season, though.
Yeah.
And then let me get back to it. Now, so D'Amico Ryans, he's now the Texans head coach, correct?
Yep.
One assistant coach of
For
the
1 year.
Yeah.
I like it.
And then finally, the Walter Payton Man of the Year, an award
is
near and
this
dear
is
to my
disgusting.
heart. Dak Prescott. Now, this is not based, guys. This is not based on what he does on a football field. This is what he does
based
off
on-
the field.
It's based on like charitable donations, right? So like turnovers count.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's a tax write-off.
Well
You know,
played.
like,
well
all your
played.
faces just were like stone cold serious, and then it clicked in all of your heads, and all of you at the exact same time.
Little
But yeah,
lag.
no contributions to cancer research, patient welfare with his Faith Fight Finish Foundation that advocates for mental health.
Very
You
nice.
know, he's a
We
shitty
appreciate your work
quarterback, but
off
he's
the
a good
field, Dak.
person.
You know what, Dak? We think you should actually retire and
Yeah,
go
man, you've
continue
got a
doing
real
charitable
career
donations.
in philanthropic ventures. Just do that. Don't do football anymore.
Or you know what? Take $55 million from the Cowboys next year and be dog shit. We don't care.
See, I think that should have been the defensive player of the year.
For turnovers.
Yeah.
Dak
Most
Prescott.
He's like a defensive quarterback.
Defending the Cowboys from going to the Super Bowl.
So we've got one game left
Well,
of the NFL season.
let's finish with that real quick. Let's run through the Hall of Fame class because that came out as well.
Oh
yesterday.
yeah. Yes, you're correct.
Rondé Barber.
Actually, I don't care. They didn't fucking put Devin Hester.
Well, we'll get there. Rondé Barber. All right. Don Coryell, Chuck Howley, Joe Klecko, Darrell Revis Island made it to the Hall.
I think we said that
Yeah.
one.
Yep. Ken Riley, then Joe Thomas.
We said
and
that
Zach
one as well.
Thomas. Zach Thomas. I didn't realize how good he was until I listened to the NFL radio this morning. They're talking about his stats.
He's really good.
Totally deserved. And then DeMarcus Ware. This is where my pissed off comes from, is the snub of fucking Devin Hester once again.
Yeah,
Also, Torrey
It's
Holt
hard to
should have
put
gotten
him in.
in.
Hard to
100%.
put him in.
And I always hark on this, or I harped on this for many, many years. The whole thing with Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt not getting in was because of each other. You know,
they were a
in
tandem.
essence, right. In essence, they canceled each other out. Well, now Isaac Bruce is in the Hall of Fame. So I just thought, oh, this is, you know, it's just a matter of
shoo-in.
time now. Yeah. Like now Torrey Holt is, you know, the next year or maybe 2 years thereafter. But I can't remember when Isaac Bruce. I know it's been a few years now, but I'm surprised Torrey Holt hasn't gotten in yet.
I don't care. I'm
me
not
too.
watching the NFL until they put Hester in.
Okay, he's watching on Sunday.
I guess you're done watching because I don't think it's ever gonna.
We gotta fill you in on Fridays next
You don't think
year.
it's ever
like-
going to happen, Keith?
It's hard to put him in. He's
Why? What's hard about it? He
what's his
changed
position?
He changed the kicking game of all time.
Yeah. It
Well, the
doesn't matter.
Hall only
Doesn't
has so
matter
many
what his position is.
square feet you can put,
He
awards
came into
up
the
for.
league as a corner.
Okay, but
And?
did he or
Went
did
to
he
wide
not
receiver.
change the game? Did he or
You
did
put
he
him
not
in as a
change the game?
KR. That's it. Kick returner.
Would he be? He'd be the first ever to go in.
Well, cool.
Rightfully so.
There's
Rightfully
players in the
so.
league now that's all they do is return kicks, and they sometimes
Another idea?
get on as a wide receiver.
Another idea for a summer episode: the Hall of Shame.
That's a good
We should
idea.
do
I
a
like it.
Hall of Shame episode.
I agree.
Flesh that out. I'm into it.
So
Yeah.
Keith, that's your argument of keeping. That's your argument to keep Devin Hester out of the Hall
Is
of
he
Fame.
doesn't have a
doesn't
true
have
position.
True position.
Yeah, that's,
He changed the kick return game, so change the Hall of Field game and put that position in because
It's
he's
like a DH in baseball.
Yep.
It's like trying
yeah.
to change the mindset of old people who don't care.
They'll all die soon enough.
But
Sorry,
then he's not going to be eligible anymore.
Most of them are down here in Florida.
That's true.
That is true.
FYI, Bruce went in 2020.
So
Bruce
we've got
did?
one
Gotcha.
Isaac was-
NFL game left this regular season. Everyone, before we get into it, I've got a very, very important question to ask you. What is your number one go-to snack for this Sunday? Starting with Ryan.
Ooh, no.
Well, we all know that
Starting
I'm
with Keith.
dieting. We all know that I'm dieting.
So you've planned ahead for this. So
I
what is
get-
your go-to snack this
I
Sunday?
get one cheat meal a week, but I'm going to be good, and I'm just going to do chicken wings with hot sauce.
Okay.
Very nice.
All right. How are the chicken wings prepared?
However Westwood prepares them.
Oh. All right.
Don't
You gonna
know-
drop some off at my house?
Don't know what that is.
Microwave
but
home?
Got out Westwood.
Westwood
Ryan.
is a nice little shop that we have in town.
Yeah, it's like right down down the street from my house.
We don't
It's,
give them free sponsorship on the show until they send wings to a
I-
show. So
Please send us wings.
I'll come on next Friday with wings from there.
deal. You
I'll
said it.
sponsor myself.
All right, Ryan. So what is your go-to snack?
Man, honestly, it's either smoked wings, out on the Weber kettle, or my wife makes the best buffalo chicken dip.
It does in my head. It's true. She does.
It's real fucking good.
I had it last year.
Yeah.
Rick, what about you?
It's tough to say. I'll say this much. So on Sunday, I'm actually having my sailors from my shop, to include my chief, Eric. He's going to be here at the house, and we've got a whole spread. We're kind of making it like a family style potluck. So I'm making my buffalo chicken dip, some of those little smokies. Someone's making like homemade mac and cheese. We've got something called senorita bread, which is new to me.
Hello, senorita bread.
Yeah.
All right.
But I guess I would have to say my buffalo chicken dip that I make.
Danny, what about you?
In the past, it's been my beef jerky. I don't brag a lot about some of my personal accomplishments, but I'm pretty confident my jerky is the best. But I'm not doing that this year. Doing something a little quick, cheese and cracker platter with the Columbus smoked salami, smoked Gouda, and I think there's it's the 4-cheese Triscuit crackers. Slice them all up ahead of time, put them together. It's a Lunchable, but for adults, for classy adults.
Rick, do you have a couch I can come down and sleep on Sunday?
Absolutely.
I'm coming just for senorita bread. Senorita bread, a bread also known as Spanish bread or pan de Castilla, is a Filipino bread roll, characteristically oblong or cylindrical in shape, with a traditional sweet filling made of breadcrumbs, butter or margarine, and brown sugar.
You know what I hear there?
Usually yellowish in color due to the use of eggs and butter. And
you both need to take a fucking double shot of your blood pressure medicine after eating that.
Yeah. What about you?
Comes with an insulin shot.
So I used to be.
What's Shannon say here?
Homemade smoked brisket, sweet potato chips, and some NC distilled sweet tea whiskey.
Well, I'm going to Shannon's house apparently.
Yeah.
Smoked brisket, shit. All right. So I, as well, love the buffalo chicken dip. My wife will tell you that to this day. That's why I married her.
She puts blue cheese in it.
No, she doesn't.
I thought you said she did.
You do go blue cheese with buffalo.
No, no blue cheese in hers.
Not in the
blue
Midwest,
cheese.
you can't.
Fuck blue
No
cheese.
blue cheese.
Hey, this is not a blue cheese podcast.
I hate blue cheese, but a little bit of blue cheese with buffalo. Okay, yeah.
We are a ranch family in this house.
Yeah, we
I
are.
used to hate it, but
I'm not in your house,
grown to
bitch.
like it.
But a couple years ago, I went to a Super Bowl party at our friend Sean and Gabby's house, and she made these little Italian beef like sliders. And like I was like, oh, I'll have one, and then it was like 9 sandwiches later. I was like, these are fucking good.
Fuck, dude, I love Italian beef, and I love that Hawaiian bread. Those little sweet
rolls.
rolls.
Yep. King's Hawaiian.
There you go.
Yeah. So also, if I have not had this on a Super Bowl, so technically it is not a Super Bowl party food, but if our dearest friend Bradley would like to make some of those shotgun shells.
Oh, those were good.
My God.
And deliver those to my house, I will give him a crisp $20 bill.
Ooh.
And a smooch on the lips
wherever
he wants. Because those...
Wherever he wants.
I'd kiss Brad.
We're running out of time, but I got to know what the shotgun shell is. Because everyone went, oh, and I feel like I'm left out here.
All right, let me look up the recipe.
I don't remember what they are, but they were fucking good.
It's basically a jalapeno popper.
Yeah, it's basically a giant jalapeno popper.
Yeah. Oh. I like those.
It's like a stuffed jalapeno popper.
No, you guys are thinking of something else. The smoked shotgun shells is a pound of ground beef, cup of Monterey Jack shredded, 2 tablespoons of barbecue brisket rub, 10 manicotti shells, uncooked, 20 slices of bacon wrapped around the noodle, dude, it's like a bacon wrapped noodle.
We're
that gets
literally
cooked.
giving our listeners cholesterol problems right now.
They're all hard as fucking.
He made them
rock
for our
right now.
draft. And
I
Yeah,
they
he
can-
made them for our draft.
Yeah.
But they cook the noodle basically cooks inside the bacon grease, and then there's the seasoned hamburger meat, and it's barbecue
Super healthy
sauced
for you.
everywhere, and it was. I was so stoned during the draft. It was the most delicious thing I've ever had in my life.
You were definitely stoned during
I
that
was, and that's most likely why I finished the season like with 1 win.
But now, I think it's time to correctly play.
It's time for the BAM Sports Show Super Bowl preview.
So it is time. To do the game of the year. Yeah, that's a short video there, Danny.
Yeah.
Should
Not
have
enough
just
time.
put them on the top of your head to flip them down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Biggest game of the year. Best commercials of the year. According to Roger Goodell, the best officiating of the year.
Did you know some like commercials you're not allowed to say Super Bowl because it's a
You have to say the
trademark
big game.
It's
Yep.
We
Yeah.
actually
Gotta be the
can't
big
say
game.
it on YouTube, believe it or not.
you can't.
You're not supposed to.
Oh, shit.
It's trademarked and they will come after you.
The
My
Super
company's,
Owl.
yeah. Don't say we got to talk about the big game. My company's advertising on the big game this weekend.
Huh?
Look for us,
Is it?
boys. Yeah, Angie. We'll be up
Oh,
there.
yeah.
We'll be up there. Not. What do you think? I was putting the BAM Sports Show up there at halftime.
No.
Yeah, man. I thought you got the big bucks.
Yeah, not
I
yet,
didn't
my guy.
think that.
That'd be dope.
That would be cool. All of a sudden, I like show up with Rihanna.
Blake's been left shark the entire time.
I am jumping on another Let's Talk Sports show on Sunday morning to talk Super Bowl stuff. So I'm
Sweet.
excited about that.
Nice.
Big
I
game
think I'll
stuff.
be on 1 o'clock. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
sorry, the
big
big
game
game.
stuff.
The big game.
The big game.
Allegedly the big game. Because you got to put allegedly.
Now watch us
with
have another
everything.
like 6-3 Super Bowl.
Oh my god.
I don't think so. I really don't
I'll
think
I
so.
don't
kill myself.
Shut up, Austin. We know that it's in the title of the video of the big game. We're just going to do the big game shuffle.
Yep. All right. So who do we got?
Man, I've gone back and forth on this one, but I finally settled in.
Has everyone got their pick?
Oh yeah. I settled into it this morning, thinking about it long and hard. Holy shit!
Hey.
Man,
2 minutes of fame, baby.
I'm too handsome. Too handsome.
There we go.
Just fucking quit switching shit around. No, I got the Chiefs. Chiefs are gonna win.
Who's next?
Colin
next?
Coward had a okay. Well,
Okay. Oh, go ahead. No, elaborate, please.
no, he just had a really good point that since week
Did you
5,
say Colin Coward had a good point?
I did. It's surprising, I know. But no, he made a good point that the Eagles really had a cakewalk from week 5 on in their season. They haven't really faced anybody. They faced the Giants for the 3rd time in the this year in the playoffs, and then a quarterbackless 49ers team. They're going up against who is now quote unquote allegedly 100% Patrick Mahomes.
Thank you for using allegedly.
I don't know. High ankle sprain. I don't know if you're okay, but anyways, yeah, they haven't played a defense like that. They haven't played a quarterback like that. I think that's going to be. I think a lot of people are getting trapped into what the Eagles did during the season and not looking at it like objectively as like, were they a little sus? So I'm picking the Chiefs.
1 for the Chiefs. 1 for the Kansas City in Missouri Chiefs.
Are we giving final scores as well?
Sure. Why not?
Or do you guys all want to do that at the end?
Give it to me, baby.
I'm going to take the Chiefs. I'm going to take the Chiefs 31-28.
Ooh, a 3-point game.
Harrison Butker is going to miss 2 field goals and nail 1 with 30 seconds left to win.
Ryan's got the script.
I got the script, baby.
But did
Oh, we
leak
forgot to
this
ask Steven about that.
It's not that we
catch it.
forgot.
Yeah.
Didn't really get a chance.
Yeah. It's all good though. Hey,
Fuck yeah, dude.
valuable insight. Valuable insight.
Yeah, agreed. All right,
Sure,
so
I'll go
Rick,
next. Yeah. So I think that
Like,
I am going to lean on the side of the Chiefs as well. A big part of me, like leading up to this, I had my gut told me the Eagles, but
Your
and part of me-
brain
I
told
don't know.
you.
Well, part of me, like, yeah, like I took into consideration, like, sure, like, especially during the playoffs, the Eagles had a cakewalk. Like you said, played the Giants for the third time
Mhm.
and then played a quarterbackless San Francisco 49ers defense. Got it. But all of that to say, though, it's not as if the Eagles weren't great throughout the regular
Yeah.
season as well. I mean, you
They were.
yourself quite literally said they have looked like the best team.
They have.
All of that
But
being said,
paper tiger kind of thing.
I worry that because of the soft playoff schedule that they've had, they might be getting a little bit too comfortable. You know, we all know what Kansas City's offense, can do. It's a phenomenal offense. Patrick Mahomes is that guy. Travis Kelce is that guy. Andy Reid is that coach. But what I don't want to take too lightly is that Steve Spagnuolo's defense has been awesome as well these past several weeks against very capable offenses. See the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
So
That
I think that-
defense made the Bengals look like shit.
right. Who just
Like
a week
bad.
prior, we were all
Officiating.
lauding the Bills defense earlier this season. And that Bengals offense embarrassed them in the snow in Buffalo. So for them to be able to do that, and Joe Burrow up until that point being undefeated against those very same Kansas City Chiefs, just worry that, as great as the Eagles have been, they haven't played a team near Kansas City's caliber. And I feel like they may be getting a little bit comfortable and forget their offense. Like that's going to be enough problems as it is. But their defense is a lot better than I think people give them credit for. So I'm going to lean on the side of the Chiefs of this one as well.
Danny, who you got?
I'm actually gonna go with the Eagles on this one. I have a 35-27. I kind of consider the offensive somewhat being a wash, and we've been talking a lot about Kansas City defense. And I know, and if you want to talk about the Bengals game, we can, but I think a lot of that was some officiating nonsense too.
Yes.
And they had a good, a defensive game, but I think all in all, it's hard to really say where the Eagles' defense is better than average. I think it's actually on the top end, and I really think if you compare the defense of Kansas City and Philly, I think I'm going to go Philly on the defense. So, not saying that their defense is going to hold Kansas City, because no one's going to hold Kansas City's offense. It's going to be enough for Hurts to really put a hurt on them. So I think it's going to be a high offensive scoring game on both sides, but I feel like Philly's going to come on top.
So 2 for Kansas City, 1 for Philly. Keith, going to you.
I also will go Eagles. I don't
Really?
Yes. The Eagles are just that team. I don't think Patrick's ankle is as healthy as he says it is. I think that D-line is going to get after him more than what San Francisco was able to. I know San Francisco's got a better defense, but I think they're going to be able to get after him a little bit more, knowing and bringing more blitzes. What's up, Brian?
I was actually just going to bring up the defensive stats because we were actually watching it, and one of the things I forgot to look at is sacks. The Eagles
lead the league in sacks.
Lead the league by 15 sacks.
So, I don't know.
70-55 with the Chiefs coming in.
So my prediction is Patrick doesn't finish that game.
And that's what I think this is like one of the more difficult Super Bowls to call. Like I feel like in years past, I felt a lot more strongly one way or the other than I have this one.
This is the first Super Bowl in a while that I'm pretty actually pumped to watch.
Same.
I leaned. I've been going back and forth all week, but I just don't think Patrick's ankle is going to be fully healthy because there's no way a high ankle sprain is healthy after 4 weeks. There's no way. People miss 6 weeks because of high ankle sprains this season. So I got to go Eagles just because of I don't think Patrick's is going to finish the game. I know Matt Moore's a capable backup.
Unless the script said he had to go down with an ankle.
It's the script. Yeah. It's the script. I also want to make Blake the tiebreaker.
You sticking with your Missouri brethren?
No, I've got a brain.
All right.
So, I mean, I hear what you say about the schedules, right? But like, Philly doesn't pick their schedule; they just play whoever the NFL makes them play.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
Does Brock Purdy play defense for the San Francisco 49ers?
Nope.
Oh, okay. So him being out did not affect their defense being as good as it is. Like they still have the defensive player of the year, right?
What are you talking about?
Like Philly looked good against San Francisco's defense, is what I'm saying.
Like their offense did?
Yes.
Yeah.
So to me, San Francisco's defense is much better than Kansas City's.
Yeah.
Much better.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. I mean, unless the numbers say otherwise.
I mean, yeah.
How many?
Kansas City has 55 sacks for Kansas City, 44 for the 49ers.
Okay.
Yards allowed,
the
points
Chiefs
allowed.
Did give up the most touchdowns.
Okay.
Whereas the 49ers only gave up 20. The Chiefs gave up 33.
Okay.
Yards, Chiefs had 37 that they gave up, 37-56. And the 49ers, I got to find. Hold on. I lost them. 49ers gave up just about the same. So when it comes down to like sacks, the Chiefs front is better, but I wouldn't say, anyway.
Okay, so I guess
I'm not trying to be too pedantic.
No, I hear you. I don't think that Kansas City has played a defense like Philly's this year. Kansas City they can put out as many injury reports that they want that says everyone's healthy. They're not healthy.
There's no fucking way.
Like Travis has got the back issue. Patrick's got a high ankle sprain. I'm sorry, that just doesn't magically fucking heal overnight.
Script.
I don't think Kansas City has played a team as fast or as talented as the Eagles or as deep as the Eagles. Like we forget the Eagles have got some depth on that defense.
Yeah.
So if they lose somebody earlier, they need to they can rotate players all game long and keep people in. There's only one Chris Jones on Kansas City's defensive line. So I am going
Frank Clark to a lesser degree.
Yeah, I was going to say
they're going to play at the same time.
Karlaftis has had a pretty good year.
Correct, but they're all going to play at the same time. Like they don't have the depth that what I'm saying is they don't have the depth as Philly. So when you can run, you can run out.
Denver had a pretty good defense, so.
I mean, so You're
flying.
I'm flying with the Eagles. I got it, 34-27.
It's cool. The victory when Rick and I win, it's going to be much sweeter.
We have a 1 point difference on there. I had 35-27.
Yep, we were close.
Shannon says he's got the Chiefs since him and I used to live in Kansas City, just outside of it in Olathe. But then he asked, do you think that Mahomes' ankle will hold up, and do you think the Eagles will go after him to take him out early? Which we had kind of talked about earlier. He's got the Chiefs winning 24-18.
I think Mahomes will play the whole game.
I think he'll play the whole game, but I think you see his mobility drastically drop.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even see that comment.
That's a hell of a point. The Eagles do have an incredible depth on both sides of the ball. Like I said,
get into it
this is
too.
tough.
Eagles have the number one, according to Pro Football Focus, number one offensive line. Kansas City has the number 4. So if it, the defenses against those offensive lines, they're fairly
I think it's going to be a great
Eagles
game. I
is
really
better.
do. I think this is going to be the best Super
Yeah.
Bowl we've seen in a long time, to be honest
I
with
feel
you.
like it's
Agreed.
you have actually the 2 best teams.
Yeah, agreed.
Number one
Agreed.
seeds. Yeah,
Agreed.
pretty
Yep.
hard to argue with.
It'll be interesting. So, weekend football rules this Sunday. Every time they talk about the Kelsey brothers, do a shot.
I'm
gonna
gonna
die.
And you probably
got-
won't make the second.
I got to
quarter.
restock here.
I have to find a time machine and go back 10 years if I'm going to survive this.
Find your liver, your young liver.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I do think it's going to be a great game. I'm excited to watch it. I'm excited to talk about it next week, and then we can start
How
talking
many
about some
times do you think
XFL
Shotola
shit.
Kelsey?
Rick, we're 1 week away.
That's right. Caw-caw!
Hey, wait, you guys know next
yes.
Tuesday is Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
I'm single. It means nothing to me.
Single
It's
awareness
the 2
day.
married guys, or the 3
Married.
married. My wife's out of town. She's going to Kansas City for
Oh.
dog photo shoot.
My wife will be in bed.
Your wife will be in bed. So Keith and I,
I'm
4.
going to dinner.
And Rick has 4 wives. I don't know what he's saying.
No, you said the 3 married guys. There's 4 of us here right now.
Well, you're never here on Tuesdays. That's what I was referring.
Oh,
3
gotcha,
married
gotcha,
guys
gotcha,
that are
gotcha.
here on Tuesdays.
Oh,
Yes,
I see.
Bethany. I
Okay.
was not excluding Bethany. I promise.
I got you.
I've actually met your wife, not these 2 jackasses' wives.
No, well, Danny's
Yeah, you
married.
haven't, have you?
But
I was in the
Oh,
house
I'm married.
at the same time.
Oh,
I
met
was
her,
for
yeah.
the year.
That is true.
Yeah.
You were in the house the same as
Nice
my wife.
lady.
So we're back on Tuesday, I think, unless we've got Valentine's Day stuff. Otherwise, we will talk Super Bowl commercials because we've always got to talk commercials.
There's
We always
already
gotta
one
talk
good one out.
feedback. What is it?
The Bud Light,
Oh,
that
of course.
Miles Teller video
What's the
dancing to him and his wife or whatever dancing to the hold music. The hold music.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty
Supposed to
good.
be a lot of movie previews.
looking
this week,
very
too.
forward to this
Yes.
year's Total Fallacy Super Bowl commercial.
Me too.
Oh, boy.
Oh wait, I'm
And
in
more.
that league, aren't I?
You are.
Are you?
You are indeed.
Holy shit.
Are you? Are you?
Are you in our
this
league now? Let's.
Yeah. They're replacing
Yeah.
John Hawkins.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, go ahead.
Oh,
Ryan.
he's out.
I'll let you kind of take a look at it.
Now I feel left out.
Yeah.
There may be another spot opening.
Where am I gonna put that next year?
No, I mean, and I can show you where I'm going to keep it.
Probably like right next to me here.
Nah, baby.
I'll have my my championship belt
The
wrapped over
football
it.
was all loose. I cleaned it up, tightened it down. Baby's home to stay.
No.
Oh, all right.
But I got a hot date with this thing.
Well, you gonna fuck it?
I mean, there is a hole in the bottom.
He's gonna sit on it.
Hashtag Total Fallacy and more.
That's what it sounded like.
It's like laying an egg, but in reverse.
Now I know what.
Jesus.
Oh, gosh. Wow.
All right, boys. I hope all of y'all have a great fucking the big game weekend since we can't say the other thing.
Right?
So I hope that all of you have a great the big game weekend. We will be back on Tuesday.
Can't
to
wait
talk
to hear
more.
about the big game party.
All right. Love you.
It's gonna
Love
be
you,
me
Austin.
getting drunk
Thank
on
you,
the
guys.
fucking couch. All right, boys. Enjoy the big game. See you on Tuesday. Peace.
Peace.
Hold on. I want to say this before we go off the fucking air.
What?
Oh.
Please don't be
Oh,
fucking
God, we're
stupid
back.
this weekend. If you're at a Super Bowl party and you're drinking,
Don't do
fucking
that
call a
shit.
friend. Don't be fucking stupid this weekend.
We're back.
Someone loves you, so don't be fucking
Uber's
stupid.
a thing now.
Don't
Call
fucking
it-
That
drink and
means-
drive, cocksuckers.
Call
Two
an
of
Uber.
you know who you are. Do not drink, period.
I don't.
No,
I
no,
don't
no.
know
I'm
who the
talking
fuck
to
he's
two people
talking
in
to.
particular. They know who they are.
Yeah, motherfuckers. Don't drink.
I
Don't
think it's
drive.
me.
Enjoy the big game.